It's Sunday, April 10th, 2022. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Hey, LVC community and guys and gals out there. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Welcome to the show. Going to be a little shorter this week. Got a couple segments I'm going to leave out. Got a couple other things I want to talk about and tell you what's going on and why things are a little bit crazy lately. And we will do all that as we go through the show. But right now, let's get things started with Out of the Box. Latest haul from Dawn and Mary on Out of the Box, and guess what? It's not 45s. Well, it will be next week. My hair is a mess. I can see it again. This last auction, they had some albums up for sale in a good lot, and I'm like, you know, there's one of these I would really like to have, and I have one of them. But there's one of the other ones I really want to see what it's like to add it to my collection. So that's what I did. 6 in total for, I believe it was $10. It was a great deal. The first one is the solo album from Jim Steinman, Bad for Good. I have this already. This did not come with the single. I knew that ahead of time. But it does have the picture sleeve for the single with it. Let me take that out here. Of course, we lost Jem last year, I believe, or in 2020. Where did I put that? It must be in the lyric sleeve here. But it did come with the sleeve for the single, which came with the album, which was Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through in the Storm. Love this album. Jim Steinman's later stuff, I could take or leave, but most of his stuff from the 80s and early 90s was pretty good. Of course, Meatloaf's stuff came out in the 70s. That's when he first got to be pretty well known for it. So it's pretty good stuff all the way around. And get back here in the little protected little bag we have it in until I have a chance to move it to one of mine. So this could end up going to somebody for VCLT because I already have the other one, and it's also in good shape. But it's a great album. I mean, it has all kinds of good stuff on it. Second up, this jazz entry from Earl Klug, Keynotes. This is basically kind of like a greatest hits album from what I could understand from Discogs. I'm not really familiar with Earl. I've heard a few of his things over the years. This has Living Inside Your Love, Whiplash, Back in Central Park, Crazy for You, Magic in Your Eyes, I Don't Want to Leave You Alone Anymore, Where I Wander, Tropical Legs, and I'll See You Again. I love good jazz guitar, so this should be really fun to listen to. Haven't had a chance yet, but I will the next couple of weeks. Bread, Guitar Man, classics album from them. This, of course, has the title track, which was a big hit. Also on this album were Aubrey, Sweet Surrender, and those are the 3 singles. And they have a lot of other great stuff. Of course, Bread was a terrific... Bread, I've never really considered that before, but Bread would fit into the yacht rock category, wouldn't they? Because they were very soft pop, great stuff with them. Great inner lyric sleeve with that, on Electra, of course. And then I got 3 compilation albums. Home for the Holidays. I love this because when you look at this, you see the front of it. It's like, it's time to play. One of these things is not like the others. You know? Pat Boone, Family, Bing Crosby, Loretta Lynn, Liberace, Jack Jones, The Brady Bunch, Burl Ives, Lawrence Welk, Roger Williams, Pete Fountain, and Robert Shaw conducting the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. I'm sorry, the Brady Bunch? Really? Out of all this stuff. So you're hearing all these like classic crooner type Christmas stuff, and all of a sudden you hear the Brady kids doing Jingle Bells, I think it is. I don't remember. Should be fun. This is unopened. I'm going to leave it as such for right now. Maxell classical sampler, of course, designed to sell their classical tapes right there. I have lots of these in my self-recorded collection. I love the hype sticker from Camelot Music as part of the Camelot Music Classical Club. So that's great. And the album that I was looking forward to getting out of this group, although the Earl Klug and the Christmas album there were best. Another album I do not have from the Legends of K-Tel, 20 Power Hits Volume 2. This is so old, it's on the yellow K-Tel label, which I've only seen one at a time, and I don't have any of them. I'm used to seeing the blue, one with the blue outline, the thick blue outline, and also the orange K-Tel centric logo one from the late 70s and early 80s. What am I doing wrong here? Lynn Ticklier. Of course, black on dark blue. Thank you so much, K-Tel. This is Dragging the Line, Tommy James, Knock 3 Times, Dawn. Doesn't Somebody Want to Be Wanted? Partridge Family, Sweet Mary, Wadsworth Mansion. Wadsworth Family Mansion? I've never heard of them referred to that way before. Didn't I Blow Your Mind? The Delphonics, Love the One You're With, the Isley Brothers, which I assume is a recording of the song that's by Stephen Stills. The Love We Had by the Dells, Peace Will Come by Melanie, Put Your Hand in the Hand by Ocean, Stay a While by the Bells, that's side 1. Side 2 is Green Eyed Lady, Sugarloaf, Shakin' All Over, the Guess Who, I Love You for All Seasons, The Fuzz, Gypsy Woman, Brian Hyland, I'm Coming Home, Tommy James, Sweet Young Thing Like You, Ray Charles, If There's a Hell Below, We're All Going to Go, Curtis Mayfield, Oh Happy Day, the Edwin Hawkins Singers, Your Time to Cry, Joe Simon, and Candida, also by Dawn. So Dawn's represented twice. And even better, an advertisement for the K-Tel Records Selector. I would love to get my hands on a modern day version of this. I used to have one of these when I was a kid, loved it. And also Power Hits Volume 1. So, great stuff. Great haul from Don and Mary. I do have more 45s on the way. They will be here shortly. This does have I can't tell this type of hole, if that's a cutout or a promo. It may be one or the other. It's an awesome shape. So I'm thinking it might have actually been a promo. In any case, thank you to Don and Mary for those. Now, I'm going to turn my attention to some new books I bought, if you'll hold on just a moment. When I got my tax return this year, as I always do at tax time, and one other time during the COVID relief things, I sent in an order to Record Research, which is the Joel Whitburn company that does all of the Billboard and so on books. Picked up 2 that I do not have. 2 that I wanted that I didn't have, a 3rd one which I've never done, and I have a 4th one that's on back order. This is Whitburn's newest book. It is the Whitburn Book of Top 10 Hits, and covers the top 10 hits from 1950 to 2020 from all 5 magazines now: Billboard, Cashbox, Music World, Record World Music Vendor, which are the same magazine that changed its name from Music Vendor to Record World, and Radio and Records. The way this book operates is a little bit different than most of these. Is it lists all the top 10 hits with the peak magazine's number as its peak position. So in this particular one, if you look at Dan Fogelberg, it has his listings as his biggest hit being Longer, which hit number 1 on Radio and Records. Same Old Lang Syne hit number 2 on Cashbox. Hard to Say, Leader of the Band, Missing You, and The Language of Love all hit on Radio and Records. So Billboard didn't make the top 10 on any of these, or at least not the peak position. Go over to Foreigner. You've got representatives of all 4 magazines, with Billboard being the highest for Feels Like the First Time, Radio and Records for Cold as Ice, Record World for Urgent, and Cashbox for That Was Yesterday. So this is really cool. It's similar to the book called The Comparison Book, which compares every chart hit on their top 100 charts and the bubbling under charts from the time they were all in existence together, which was 1958 to 1983, I think, is when Record World shut down. And that's a great book, and I use it a lot when I'm doing my Obscuria stuff. This is the last in the chart series that I had not picked up yet, and this is going to be fascinating because I am completely unfamiliar with stuff that came out this early. This is Joel Whitburn's Pop Memories, The History of American Pop Music, 1900 to 1940. This is the second edition, and he originally had gone back to 1890, but to bring it in line with Billboard and their anniversaries and the actual start of real recorded music in 1900, he redid it here. This has artist listings, track listings, song listings, everything that was popular on the various charts, and there were quite a few of them in I believe this covers Billboard, only Billboard. It had different amounts of chart positions, different chart types. The charts included in this were eventually named the best-selling records in 1934, and then the hit parade, radio airplay, the jukebox charts. It's fascinating what I've been going through here. And I'm not familiar with much of this at all, or at least I didn't think I was, but there's some early Frank Sinatra in here. There's some early stuff from other acts. So this is going to be a valuable part of my research collection. I'm very happy to have it. The third one, I bought actually both of these for the most recent ones, is Joel Whitburn presents the Billboard Hot 100 charts. These are simple reproductions of each week's Billboard Hot 100. Week by week, slightly smaller than scale, as the magazine is like, I think 14 by 18, something like that. But it has all of the charts in it. And this is I also have the 2000s one on order. I never bought these because I had a subscription to Billboard. You can get most of them online anyway, if you know where to look. There's some research sites that publish these online. But I wanted the books, this one and the 2000s in particular, so I can formally begin what's known as my Missing Years project. The Missing Years project is going to see me updating all my personal charts for the periods that I don't have one. Now, I'm not going to start my starting date. I still have been unable to locate the original charts from 1978 and 79. The ones on my website, the Kirkham Report, start in 1980. The 78 and 79 charts have disappeared, and I'm continuing to look for them. I think they may have gotten lost during one of our moves, because I've been through everything 50 times and I can't find them. But I had years where I did my personal charts from 1978 to 1993. Again, as part of discjockey.com from 1998 to 2000, and two periods in the 2000s, in 2010 and 2018. What I'd like to do is make a comprehensive collection of charts. So, starting this summer, I'm going to start with the week I ended with in 1993 and go through and catch up to the disc jockey charts in 1998. I'm going to use this book to do it. And after that, when I get the 2000s book, I will be able to do the same thing for the period of the disc jockey period, after the disc jockey period, up through the charts I did in 2010. I've wanted to do this for a long time, and eventually you will see a book or online ebook, probably, like this, of all of my charts. Probably another 3 or 4 years in the making. The Missing Years project was supposed to be started in 2018, and because of things going on, I just couldn't get around to it. I had hoped to have it finished by my 60th birthday. Well, that's less than a year away now, so that's not going to happen. But what I am going to do, I'm still intending to digitize my entire collection and get the Missing Years project. I'd like to see it done by the end of 2025, which gives me about 3.5 years to do it, and I think that's a good goal to reach. Starting in the next few weeks, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, I'm going to tell you about some upcoming changes to the way my charts are up on the website, so we'll talk about that. Any case, love these. I'll probably order a couple more. in the near future. I'm always buying the Whitburn books. I love them, and they help do my obscurias and everything else. Now I got a few other things too over here. Let me switch out the books. I finally picked up a book that I've wanted for a long time. It actually came out about 10 years ago. And I was doing some research for one of the Obscurias last week, and it re-triggered it in my mind as to all the kind of crazy stuff that happened in the late 70s and early 80s in the record industry. A lot of it had to do with a network, a group called The Network. They were a network of promoters that were charging exorbitant fees to recommend radio stations play a song. And there was a war that went on between CBS Records and one of their vice presidents and the network, and it's detailed in this book, Hitman by Frederick Dannon. I've been wanting to read this for quite a while, and I found a decent copy online for a fairly decent, cheap price, used. But actually, I don't think it's used. I think it's just a remainder. But I can't wait to read this. It talks about that war and other things that went on in the crazy 70s and 80s in the music industry. So this will be a lot of fun to read. I also picked up something else. My wife is going to freak out, but I want to tell her now this is just for research purposes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I've always wondered what it would be like, especially since I started Artists You Should Know, and since so many of my favorite people that I've been recommending do digital only, what it would be like to run my own record label, my own independent record label. I did some research online, and this gentleman has a lot of good word of mouth. So I picked up his books. I don't know that it's ever going to happen, but it's interesting to know how you think about it and how you go about the idea of doing so. It is called How to Start a Record Label. It is by Scott Orr. He runs a website and a podcast called Other Record Labels, a lot of which talk about independent record labels that release, small runs like, 500, 1,000 copies. And it also offers a workbook, and I picked that up as well. Now, honey, don't worry. I'm not actually planning to do this yet. But I would like to be able to help some of my younger artists that I've really liked to find a way to do it, and maybe this would be an advice. I could advise them using this on how they could probably self-publish their stuff. There's not a lot of self-publishers out there anymore because there's not that many record plants out there anymore. But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to reading these and seeing how it is done in the independent world. So it'll be fun. And that is out of the box for this week. I mentioned a few moments ago that I was looking into doing some stuff with my personal charts. Normally, I would like run down one of the charts here. That's not going to happen anymore on this show because I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. Number one, my personal charts will now air in their own show on Sundays, probably starting a week or 2 weeks from today. It is called the TKR Retro Top 20 Countdown, although it's actually going to be the entire chart for that week. Um, what I'm going to do is put little clips of the songs and artists and stuff from each a particular week that I've picked. I'm going to pick them at random, and I've got 15 years to do from, plus the 3 later ones. Um, and post little clips in the way that you see them online from places like Current Chart and all those that I watch and enjoy. Because I did these a few years ago when I started in 2018, and I kept getting hits from the record labels. It's weird because I would only play 10 or 15 seconds of the song, and it would have, and I considered to be transformative, but at the time, some of them were being rather pain about some songs. So now I know how to go about checking that, and if a song can't appear, I'll just put some generic music behind it with a picture, or whatever, like I can do it now, and it'll be fun to do. But even more so, I mentioned the Missing Years project a few moments ago, and the whole goal of that is just to make me feel like I've actually completed this journey I'm on, my musical collection journey, because I started making my weekly charts when I was 15 years old. It started in the summer of 1978, and I'm going to find those 78 and 79 charts if it kills me. I hope, cross my fingers somewhere. There's a lot of great music on those. But I have charts running from June of 1978, theoretically, through September of 1993. I did it every week. Occasionally, I screwed up and did two in one week. I've got a couple of those on the websites. But I have all these charts, the ones I have physical copies of, starting in January of 1980 through September 1993, and including about 70% of the disc jockey and the 2010 and 2018 years, are available on my website at thekirkhamreport.com. The problem is they're all in my atrocious handwriting. So I actually made a template, and from that, starting in the next week or so, I'm going to start one or two at a time, retyping up those old charts and resubmitting, changing out what I have there now on PDF for the new chart, so it'll be easier for you to read. And I would love to talk to people about my charts if you guys want to come over. The Kirkham Report's going to be expanding and going through some metamorphosis over the next 3 or 4 months as I start these new projects, and I'm going to be doing a lot of them on there. I'm also going to be trying to ramp up my columns there again, and it's going to be fun to do that. And yes, before you ask, there will be a brand new chart debuting sometime this summer. I hope. I need to get back to making my charts because I really enjoy doing that, and I'm going to do it in conjunction with a couple of other projects I've got going on. So hopefully, I will be able to do my weekly top 20 countdown again of my current stuff, and that would be a lot of fun. And I also wanted to use this period to ask you, the VC, the buying public, the people who are coming into this for the first time, for a couple of favors. All chart related. Number one, back when I was a kid, I used to collect radio surveys from the various radio stations that ran around wherever I was living, so whether it was in Washington or Ohio. I lived in both places twice over my lifetime. And I used to have, and I thought I still had them, but I can't find them anywhere, a huge collection of charts that were published and left in stores that people could pick up when they went to buy their 45s from WCOL, the top-rated top 40 station in Columbus, Ohio in the 1970s. I also had a complete collection of KJRB top 30s from Spokane that were mailed to me every week by the radio station. It was their playlist from 1977 to 1981. I can't find those either. I mean, there's some of those are online. You can find a great bunch of stuff. There's a great chart site out there. I can't remember the address, but I go to it all the time for checking stuff out like this. But what I'm asking you to do, if you have memorabilia anywhere in your collection, Katie, my friend Katie, this might be up your alley too. I'm looking to get copies of those. I don't want the originals, but if you have or find these laying around your house somewhere, radio surveys, store surveys, Penny, Sears, all these big stores that used to have record departments, used to have a top 20. You ever run across any of those, make me a scan and shoot it to me at my email address, which is in the comments always, because I'd love to post them. I have quite a few of the ones I have posted on the Kirkham Report site. They're all store charts. And I definitely am interested in posting other ones, radio station, store-based. If you had a personal chart when you were a kid, I'd love to see those and share those with our audience as well. Those kind of things are the kind of things that I really get lots of enjoyment out of. I get a kick out of reading through this stuff because charts are my favorite topic, and I'm gonna talk about charts off the charts every week. I'd hope to get it out this week with my answer to Robert Fitton's recent chart harangue. and I got to be honest, it was an honest and well place harangue. I agreed with a lot of the points Robert made, and I'm going to talk about that on the upcoming episode of Off the Charts, which will be up this Thursday. I have, I collect that kind of stuff. I also collect reviews of albums and singles. If you see them in your newspaper or if you see them in an old magazine, I'd love to see a photocopy of that page and send it to me, and I will put it up, because I really love doing that. My email address is in the notes, the show notes, and you can get in touch with me that way anytime, not just for this. The other thing I'm interested in, for those collectors out there like myself, I'm interested in finding copies of radio transcriptions. I've talked about this before, I think. I have I don't have a large collection, but I have quite a few over here in my albums, and I have a few on CDs of American Top 40, both with Casey Kasem and with Shadow Stevens. I have a show called Countdown America with John Leader. I bought a whole box of those from somebody on eBay a few years ago. I'd never heard of the show. Or is that the name of it? Countdown? No, that's the other show he did. I don't remember the name of this. It was a daily show. I don't remember what the name of the show was, but I believe it was with John Leader. I have a few copies of the National Music Survey with Dick Clark. I'm always looking for those. And if you know of a good source online where they can be purchased, or you are looking to get rid of them out of your own collection, please drop me a line. I would definitely be interested in. I'm also interested in the stuff that people got for free. When I worked at discjockey.com, we used to run the three popular music-oriented shows: Powerline, Master Control, and Country Crossroads. I'm interested in those too, although I know they're free. So don't try to shill me on that. But I'm interested in those future hits from Joel Denver. I'm sorry, it's escaping me because I didn't prepare notes for this. Anyway, any kind of radio transcriptions. And I'm also having trouble figuring out how to get those in Discogs. I can't get any of my radio transcriptions into Discogs because they're a major pain in the ass to put in. They all have different songs, different running times, commercial stuff. If you guys have any advice on how to do that, I'd appreciate it. So this and all the chart stuff for this week is kind of a combined personal charts information and stuff coming up, and I hope that you will take a look at my site, thekirkhamreport.com, and go look at my chart section. I have some really crazy tastes in the 80s and 90s. And I, in my own head, it was my own radio station, and, for me, I wasn't really running with the pack on those. So, go enjoy those. And if you do run into any of those kind of surveys or charts like I have asked you to, please drop me an email. And you can shoot them over. You can shoot over PDFs of them. You can shoot over scans of them. If you have them and you just want to get rid of them and you have paper copies, I can give you an address to mail them to. It'll be a lot of fun. And it'll be a crowdsourced thing. We'll have fun doing this together, because I will mention the contributor and everything on my site and on my show when I talk about it. Thanks for indulging me on this personal charts section. More in a moment. In the back pages today, some schedule changes for the Kirkham Report TKR Video Central channel. I have been trying to get the show back to Saturdays. It will happen this coming week. This week I will begin a rather new set schedule. Everything will be available at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, and I don't know what that is over in Europe. It's like 10 o'clock in the evening in Europe. But all my shows will be available at 4 o'clock that I host. The rest of them, like Obscuria, which is at 11 a.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. All the other shows will be at 4 o'clock, and special shows will generally be in the evening. Now, what we'll be doing over the next couple weeks, Mondays will be the live American Song Contest after the songs live stream, which happens at 10:10 p.m. Eastern, 7:10 p.m. Pacific every Monday night during the American Songs Contest. After that ends on May 11th, right? No, May 9th. May 10th, 12th, and 14th, immediately following the two semifinals and the finals of the Eurovision Song Contest, I will be live with my comments on those shows afterwards. So those will probably be up between 5 and 6 on those days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, May 10th, 12th, and 14th. On Tuesdays is Influencers at 4 o'clock. That's where I talk about my influencers in my musical career, and I know most of you have seen that. Wednesdays, starting in 2 weeks, not this week but next week, is Rank This. I'll be ranking all types of different albums, singles, artists, different stuff like that, and you can check that out Wednesdays. On Thursdays, Off the Charts will be there. I'll be talking about different chart-centric stuff. It won't always be a countdown like the first one. It'll be just some general chart information. I have ones coming up on spoken word records, and I have other stuff going on that I'm looking at. And those will be coming up on Thursday. On Fridays, of course, I'm trying to do rock and reviews. I'm trying to watch a couple of movies I want to see if I can recommend. I haven't gotten a rock and reviews up in a couple of weeks, but it should return this Friday with more stuff. And the Kirkham Report will be up at 4 o'clock on Saturdays if everything goes well. Sundays will be the retro top 20, whatever it is that I was talking about in the charts section. I don't remember the title of it because I changed it because I figured there's no sense in doing just top 20. We'll do the whole chart. Sometimes that'll be 20, sometimes that'll be 30, sometimes it'll be 35, and other times it'll be as much as 75. The 2018 charts were 75 positions. So it'll be mixed up all over the place. It'll be around about 10, maybe 12 minutes most. With clips and stuff, and that'll be coming up on Sundays starting probably in 2 weeks. We also have a couple of other things in the pipeline, and the first of those is coming up Monday. As we're doing this, it will be April 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will premiere our debut of Finding Your Music Mojo. This is a collaboration between Dawn of Two Hip Chicks and myself, where we are talking about collecting. And we're talking about collecting for the novice mostly. Not that we're not going to talk about, experienced collectors, but our goal in this is to talk to those new collectors out there who need some guidance, who want some answers to questions, who want some advice. We're talking this week in the first installment about our own personal collections, how we got started, and a few other things. And we will both be in the chat tomorrow night when it premieres at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Kirkham Report. You will see clips from it in the near future on the Two Hip Chicks channel. That is really hard to say fast on. You know that? Two Hip Chicks. I have a couple of other shows coming up that are going to be debuting later. In May, we will be running the Kirkham Report Guide to the Eurovision Song Contest. It's going to be another 5-part series where I will run down this year's 41 competitors. I'll also talk a little bit about the history of Eurovision, a little bit more than it was for the American Song Contest. And I hope you'll check that out. It'll be up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Eastern every day that week. And coming up in July, over July 4th weekend, finally over July 4th weekend, I believe is what it says, or it's scheduled right now. Let me check real quick because I have it on my calendar on my website, and if I have that wrong, I'm going to look like a fool. Come on, site, work for me. Premiering June 30th and running through July 4th. The July 4th long weekend. Summer of 78 will finally premiere. It is a 10-part miniseries spotlighting 100 extremely important songs and music for that summer, which I just think was a magical summer. And that is going to be June 30th through July 4th. 2 parts a day, each part showcasing 10 different songs. And I hope that you will check it out. I have been working on this for about 18 months and getting all the copy together, and it's coming together in production now, and Hopefully it will be very, very cool, and I hope you will all love it. And there will be other schedule changes here and there along the way, and I'll let you know. I'm still working on getting the groove line up. I hope to do that this fall right now because it didn't work out right now, but there will be other things, and I have a few other things up the pipeline too, so be sure to check on that. But that's the schedule changes for the back pages this week. Before I get on out of here, let me remind you again that I will be appearing Monday twice with different shows. Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be on live chat with my pal Don from Two Hip Chicks for our debut of Finding Your Music Mojo. This is going to be a not regularly scheduled, but still fairly regular, we hope, series of shows talking about collecting. And it's aimed at the novice or the intermediate, our views of what you can do to do stuff and however it's going to be and how to find the love in what you do. And that will be coming up. The premiere will be Monday at 6 on TKR Video Central. And of course, Monday at 10:10, I will be live with After the Songs from the American Song Contest. We'll talk about this week's entries, the songs from last week that went through, and where we are, because we are only two more as of this recording. Two more qualifiers are left, and then we'll be into two semifinals and the finals. American Song Contest is always going to be fun. And don't forget that I am also on my website, the Kirkham Report, running a daily Eurovision countdown. I'm counting down the songs from Eurovision this year in the order of my personal preference, talking about the songs, the history of that country in the contest, bringing you the video and information about the people doing it and more. And you can find that at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, so we stay caught up to the time when the semifinals are. And that is available every afternoon at the latest on thekirkhamreport.com. So please come on over there. In the meantime, thank you all for watching. I appreciate your indulgence, and I hope you will continue to watch, and I hope you will continue to spread the word for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. TKR Video Central can't grow without your help, and it's done pretty well over the last couple of weeks. With I got a good pop from the American Song Contest stuff, and I hope that will continue. And please leave a comment. I love talking to you. And don't forget to join me every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for Obscuria. We have a new look format there with a little bit more accessible information, and having a lot of fun doing that. And I'm also posting a little teaser now on Saturdays for the following week, so you might want to check that out as well. Until tomorrow and the rest of this week with all these new shows coming up, I got lots of stuff going on. I'm TC Kirkham. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. For the Kirkham Report, I'll see you soon. Ciao, baby.